regularly scheduled board meeting. We have preliminary determination hearing. I'll turn that over to Mr. Jones.
Okay, we're starting the process that we talked about a little bit at our last board meeting, where we're going to secure some money and by selling bonds, $2.6 million. This is going to replace debt that we have fallen off, so it's basically tax neutral. We're going to use this money for doing HVAC work on the middle high roof, new lockers for the middle high, outdoor facilities projects, parking lot improvements, and elementary improvements. To explain the process, we're going to start with our attorney from Bose McKinney, Mr. Dennis Otten.
Thanks, Trevor, and thanks, members of the board. Good to see you. Trevor kind of summed it up real well. Before we issue these bonds, there's a couple of public hearings that the school board has to hold. And those have been advertised. We've got the notice in the paper. And then after the next school board meeting, and I've got a timetable here, I brought copies of it in case anyone wants them. July 21st, your next school board meeting, we'll have some resolutions for you all to adopt. I've got a copy of it right here. We'll probably have another one too. Once that gets adopted, there'll be another notice that gets advertised. That'll start a 30-day period where if people want to file a petition against, to have a petition or monstrous process apply to this project, they can do it. And they got to go out and they got to get a certain number of people to sign that. In this case, it's going to be probably 5% of your registered voters, taxpayers is the amount. We don't expect that to happen. We'll get through that process, and then we will have the building court meet. We'll sign the lease. We'll be through another 30-day period, but during that time frame, Mike and his team will be working to kind of get the bond purchaser set up. And that could take any number of forms that Mike can talk about. From a standpoint of our timing on closing, we're looking like late September to get these bonds closed. Now, we'll be eyeballing the markets, and dates can change a little bit, but we usually sort of stick to these schedules as we've always done before. And I'll note for the record, there's some information for this type of hearing that we have to have prepared and available in case anyone wants to see it. Mike has put together the hearing information sheet, and I've got copies of that right here, and Mike can talk about that a little bit. And we have copies of the resolution as well that has all that information. This will be a lease financing, kind of like we did back on your last project, so it doesn't count against the school's debt limit. We'll use the same school building corporation. We're just going to do a supplement to your existing financing documents to kind of keep it neat and clean. So nothing real big. And Jamie, I'll be reaching out to you and Trevor to kind of get that building corporation together. We'll probably want to have them meet at your next school board meeting or about that time. But I'm going to stop. And maybe before we do questions, Mike, you want to talk some, and then we can maybe entertain any questions if that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Would you like me to stand at the podium?
It's up to you, but sure.
Whatever's good for you.
Sure. So good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Jones, ladies and gentlemen, good to be with you. It's been a while. It was nice to be back. So thanks for having us in. As Dennis has explained, this is the first of two preliminary hearings on the proposed bond project. So the financial piece of tonight's hearing and next month's hearing is just to set forth maximums for the bond financing in terms of amount, term, interest rate, etc. And as Dennis also has explained, you have on hand tonight all of the required financial information for these two hearings. So, but I will briefly go through that with you. And then we would welcome any questions or any other discussion topics that you might like to explore. So with that, as Mr. Jones mentioned, the amount of the project that's being approved tonight is $2.6 billion. That is an amount that is roughly 1% of the school corporation's gross assessed valuation. the max that can be done to remain subject to the petition remonstrance process and not cross over into the referendum process. That amount can be scaled back. It can be reduced if your needs should change. It can be issued, that debt can be issued at separate times. It can be broken up into multiple series of bonds. But we are sensing, and I really feel that it'll be a $2.6 million financing, all bonds issued at one time later this year, like Dennis said, maybe closing in September once we get through all the legal steps. And we negotiate the purchase of the bonds with either a bank or an underwriting firm, and it could be a bank placement, which saves you a little time, it saves you a little in cost, but we will explore all of those options before we get around to selling bonds and find the one that works best for you all. The maximum term of the bonds is 20 years, and you're not going to take that long to repay the entire bond. You will repay this bond in most likely under 10 years, and we have a repayment term of probably more like 8 years at this point. The bond market could change. The interest rate on the bonds could change between now and the time we get around to selling bonds or locking in the interest rate. But we're looking at that maybe 8-year repayment term. And it is very common for a lease financing to make the max term 20 years just in case. And you don't need that 20 years. The maximum interest rate we have set at 6%. That's part of the required information. Hopefully it won't be that high, but we always like to be conservative with our rate estimate. And it would be good if it would be down around 4% or maybe 4.5%, but hopefully well under 6%. But we will work with potential bond purchasers and the eventual bond purchaser, the winning bidder or purchaser, and get that rate down as low as it can be. The maximum annual payment in any 1 year has been set at $500,000, and that could very well be the actual payment amount on the bonds in 1 year. But we will not make the annual payment. The annual payment will not be any greater than that amount. So the estimated impact of this financing on your debt service fund tax rate, that is the non-exempt debt service fund tax rate, which is of course separate from the capital referendum rate, which was issued back at the time we did the large bond issue. But the non-exempt debt service rate, a $500,000 payment on your current assessed valuation is roughly 25 cents on your debt service rate. But your debt service levy in that non-exempt debt service fund is naturally going to decrease. It is going to go down in time. Over the next few years, it will just go down organically. So the net effect of any levy increase from this project will be zero, because your levy is, again, naturally going to decline over the next several years. You will have costs associated with the bond issue. They include municipal advisor, bond attorneys. The purchaser will most likely have an upfront fee that is typical for bond issues like this. There will be a fee from the trustee bank on the bond issue, and you will also pay some miscellaneous costs. They don't add up to much, but for advertising and filing at the time of the bond closing, you'll incur some costs there too. And the first payment on the bonds, assuming they are sold at the end of this year or before the calendar year 25 ends, first payment on the bonds would be June of 2026. As Dennis said, this will be a lease financing or a building corporation bond issue where the building corporation is the legal issuer of the bonds. And that's only because you don't have enough general obligation bonding capacity to take care of this total financing. You and every other school corporation and every other unit in the state are limited in how many general obligation bonds you can have outstanding at one time. Your current GO bond capacity is a little over $1 million. And that is why we will be using the building corporation to issue these bonds and not the school corporation. So that's about all I have for you. Happy to answer any questions or talk about anything that you might like to discuss. And thank you again.
You say our taxes are not gonna go up?
Your levy will not increase. Actually, the levy will go down. The levy will go down. Our goal is for the levy to decrease a little bit, even with this bond issue in time. And what that does, you will most likely have needs in the future, capital needs, and it gives way or it makes room for additional projects down the road should you choose to pursue those projects or those finances.
So it won't be like George Bush.
Well, no, sir. If I'm understanding you correctly,
No.
that's right. Your rate, very honestly, your rate is a little harder to determine now with Senate Enrolled Act number 1, but your levy will not increase. If you'd like me to expound on that, I'm happy to. There is speculation that assessed valuations statewide are probably going to go down. And that is something that we have no control over, nor do you all as a corporation. So the rate is now a little harder to project, but the levy and the amount of your annual debt service will not increase.
Any further question? Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Dennis.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Then we'll close the preliminary determination hearing.
And we'll,
I'll turn it over to you.
I guess we'll see you guys next month at your board meeting for the hearing next month.
Okay, what's the question?
Well, I just kind of commenting.
Be here next
Oh,
month.
yeah.
Same thing next.
Yeah.
Same thing, and that'll be on Monday, July 21st.
Yeah, we'll be back for that one and we'll have the resolutions and all ready to go.
Maybe it'll cool down by then.
Yeah, let's hope.
I hope so.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank
you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Now I ask that you rise for pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Recognition of visitors present and on the agenda. We do not have any tonight, so first thing of order would be the approval of minutes for the May 19th regular meeting. We motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion.
Dave,
I'll second.
Kathy, all in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Next is claims number 9136 through 9229 for the month received, either rejected or approved for payment. Need a motion to approve or reject the claims.
I'll make that motion.
Motion to approve, Casey,
I'll second.
Kathy, all in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Next is facilities. I'll turn that over to Mr. Jones.
All right, we talked about the last board meeting, some of the work that we wanted to accomplish over the summer, and it's crazy, the summer's already half over, and we really need to get to work. There's two major things we want to do, improvements to the Regal Gym, and these two projects will date with this bond initiative. So we're going to pay for this, and then we're going to reimburse ourselves. So the first is a new gym floor. Our gym floor, over 40 years old. It's got some bad spots on the playing surface. It also has some wood that is bowed around the edges. So we're going to replace the gym floor. We have setting up work with Cincinnati Floor to replace that. The cost is going to be around $215,000 for this project. It may be a little higher after we figure out what they're going to charge us to move some bleachers around, some bleachers up. And we're going to add new video boards, which are going to replace our scoreboards. The video boards are through Daktronics. They're $122,000. This project we will pay for, and the athletic department's going to pay us back over 5 or 6 years with the advertisements that they sell. So I'd like board approval to move ahead with those two projects to do them this summer.
I'll make that motion.
Kathy?
I'll second.
Michael? All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Next.
Thank you. We're still on the facilities. We're still waiting on, we talked about wanting to replace the lockers this summer in the middle high. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen this summer. I'm actually still waiting on two companies to give me final quotes. Unfortunately, like everything, it's going to be more expensive than I thought it would be. We're probably looking at least $500,000 to replace those lockers.
Golly.
So I'm still waiting on a quote, and it's going to take at least 2 weeks to tear out and to install new lockers. So,
This probably will be next summer then, right?
or we'll divide it, the middle school over fall break and maybe the high school over Christmas break if we can do that. If not, we'll wait for next summer. Yeah. So we're still waiting on that, as I said, and we did have a company come and look at our roof, and we're still waiting on their opinion on what we need to do to fix some leaks that we have. We will be redoing our parking lots, recoating the blacktop portion from the central office past the bus barn and all around the elementary school. So that will be scheduled in July to be done. So that'll be recoated and repainted. And that's all I have for facilities. If you have any questions?
So that had to be finished July what? Because you have registration.
Yeah, they'll have to be done before that last week of July. So
Okay, third week.
the company knows that
Okay.
anytime between now and really mid-July, so it's going to be soon.
Okay.
Yeah, once that seals it, they can stripe it pretty well in the day,
Yeah.
can't they?
I think that quick.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Mr. Jones. Next is business report. Turn Mr. Parks.
No action items tonight, but fund report, education fund ended May at 4.3 million. Debt service, cash balance is 0. Referendum debt, 163,000. Operations, 112,000. Rainy day, 1,568,000. In June, we have already received our tax disbursements from the county auditor. And so when I do this report in July, all of those tax funds, like debt service, referendum, and operations will have higher cash balances. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Parks. Next, personnel. Mr. Jones.
I have the following hires and resignations and transfers. I've got hire Mitchell Prince, boys freshman basketball coach. Hire Jacob Dunn, boys assistant varsity basketball coach. Hire Jeremy Boswell, boys JV basketball coach. Resignation, Mackenzie Wells and Michael Wells, middle school co-ed soccer. Resignation, Teresa Batman, elementary cook. Transfer Elizabeth Caudell from part-time custodian to full-time custodian. Hire Bailey Joe Terry, part-time custodian, and transfer Deborah Cornett from part-time cook to full-time cook. So I need a motion for approval for all personnel.
Motion to approve personnel.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Kathy, second. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Superintendent's report.
All right, first I have, believe it or not, the 26-27 school calendar, which, will only be a year from now, I guess. It's crazy.
It doesn't seem right, but okay.
So
It is.
it basically mirrors the schedule that we usually have. The first teacher day for summer of 26 is July 31st, with the first student day being August 3rd. And then the end of the year, the last student day is May 21st of 27. The last teacher day is May 25th of 27. So if we have no questions, I need a motion to approve the 26-27 school calendar.
Question, is that a week earlier that we're getting out? The 21st, the
I don't think
28th?
it's a full week, but this year was the 23rd. So
Yeah.
I think for the 27-28 calendar, we'll have to make a week adjustment because we don't want to end school mid-May. So we'll probably have a little longer summer.
Okay.
The summer of,
So graduation will be 21st of high school.
Yeah.
I would say that the high school graduation was great
It was.
In
Really, really good.
Regal Gymnasium.
I agree. It was a good program.
Everybody, I had a lot of people say that they thought it was really nice. Went real well.
So we had that approved, did we?
Oh, nope, we don't need a motion to
I'll
approve
make
this
the
calendar. Casey?
I'll second.
Michael, all in favor? Motion carries 5-0.
All right, what we've been talking about, seems like for a year or two now, is the Healthy Eagle Clinic. That's the name of our wellness center that will absolutely now be opening. In fact, it's over there, it's furnished, it's ready to go. It's in the old offices of the elementary school. We will have a full-time nurse practitioner during each school day from 8 to 4. There'll be more information coming out. We hopefully we'll have a lot of people sign consent forms. We'll have to have consent forms signed. There's federal laws we have to cover. It's not too lengthy. It's 3 or 4 pages long, but it takes a little bit of time to fill these out. But it's a great benefit for our students and our staff. You can see a nurse practitioner if you don't feel well without leaving school and without your parents having to come get you out of school to take you to the doctor's office.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same for our staff. Our teachers can go see a nurse practitioner during their planning period. And there's no out-of-cost expenses. We will charge your insurance. We will charge Medicaid. If you have a high deductible, they've set it up on a sliding scale, and the bill will come through actually Jamie's office. And it'll be paid through a grant that we got through the community
Yeah,
foundation.
for what's on Medicare, they'll go through Medicare too, right?
Yes, yeah. So co-pays, we take care of that. That's going to be taken care of. So there will be no out-of-pocket expenses. We can do through that office. They'll be able to do following: primary care, acute same-day care, wellness exams, sports physicals, psychiatric services,
Oh,
health
that they do.
health education referrals,
That happens.
lab work, and even we can have x-rays done if we need to over at the foundation's office. So we can do about anything you need. So we're excited about that.
Prescriptions, the right prescriptions. They
Yes,
need them.
yes. They'll call it right into your pharmacy, just like your primary provider. We're not trying to replace anyone's primary provider. It's just a service we're offering. And it'll hopefully make life a lot easier and save our community money.
On the mental health side of things, do you know, are this going to be like, they'll have like somebody on video chat, or they actually have somebody that they come in at certain times?
The initial intake through the wellness center will be via telehealth.
Okay.
But we also remind you, we still are going to have Centerstone in our building. So that's just another layer that we have
Gotcha.
for our behavioral health.
So it's gonna be like a convenient care, basically.
Yes, that's a good. way to
That's what
put it.
you substituted for.
So again, we're excited though, that is actually opening in July, but we'll be fully ready to go when school starts.
Okay, are we gonna make sure we have the people sign up when we enroll the new kids every year?
Yes, for registration.
For registration, would be great.
Yes. And federal law state, you have to do one for each child. I asked all those questions today, but once you fill one out and we have it on in our office, the child's good till they turn 18. So now we're not going to have any kid go to the wellness center without notifying parents first, though.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely.
And if you want to come be with your elementary or middle or high school kid when they go to the wellness center, you will be allowed to do that. So.
Especially the younger kids, probably the parents will.
And we're going through the nurse first, our regular nurse.
It's not replacing any of our responsibilities of our school nurses. They're still going to have their same responsibilities. And they are the gatekeepers to when one of our students needs to go to the wellness center. Now, on the other side, we do want to schedule a full wellness exam for all of our students. So that's our goal, is that every student every year has lab work done, has correspondence with the nurse practitioner. We want to be able to help with any lingering illness they have or anything that they have that's unhealthy. We want to help them with their diet. We want to help them with their weight. We want to help them with, with whatever they need. So we want to be a real wellness center.
That'd be great.
Will they be open on snow days and when the school is
Well, they can
canceled?
get
Will
there.
they?
We haven't really worked that out. It's a really good question. We talked about that, but they will be here every day that we have students, and they will be open in the summer.
In the summer, yeah.
Yeah.
Assuming they were working during school and then summer
Yes.
and
So all of
occasional.
our athletes can get their physical before
Yes.
school starts.
What about transportation? Will someone, I guess, just be designated to take them from the middle school
Yeah.
over? And
Yeah.
thing? Okay.
There's a few logistics we have to work out, but middle, high school kids will be escorted over there. And once parents will be escorted if they come over to the elementary. I mean, we can't just leave them by our building. So the logistics we all are still working on. We've worked most of them out.
Well, I'm glad you have it there instead of having those people rotate through those rooms. That's gonna be a lot better on everybody.
Mhm.
Got that worked out, so that's good. Have some good news. Speaking of high school graduation, our high school graduation rate this year, I believe, is the highest in our school's history. We are at 91.96%. So really, our
Wow.
graduation rate this year was 92%. And wasn't that long ago, we were in the 50s. So we're very
Wow.
proud of that.
That's wonderful.
And that's all I have for superintendent's report.
So thank you, Mr. Jones. Board comments and information. Start with you, Kathy.
I don't have anything. It sounds like everything's going good and getting ready for next year. And that's all I have.
Awesome.
I just want to say, I think that the Healthy Eagle Clinic will be a great asset to our school
Yeah.
system and our
I did
community.
on that too. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, the clinic is wonderful. Graduation was great.
It was. I thought
First
it was
5 months of our term, I think is going great. Really learned a lot. Thank all you guys for helping us out and guiding us through. Looking forward to the rest. Fireworks this Friday here at the school. So if everybody can come and enjoy that. Fair's going on. Everybody enjoy that. And it's hot, so stay hydrated.
Our sorority selling homemade ice cream at the
Is that all right?
fireworks show.
I'll bet you a bunch.
Yeah, we always do.
Yeah.
They're gonna sell out Friday night.
We always do.
I hope it doesn't rain for all that.
Yeah.
But the fireworks is Friday night, and that's been scheduled forever, like the first Friday before the 4th of July. I know there's a conflict with the fair, with demolition derby and everything else, but it's one of those things. I think it's the second time Mr. Smith told me that they had that problem, but it's just one of those things. But the nurse is going to be a home run. That's going to be great for our kids and our families, save them a lot of money. So you need to bring your kids to Austin if you want to get free books, free lunch, free health care now. That's quite a lot.
Yeah,
college
I can't beat that.
And
Free
the
college.
scholarship.
Mhm.
Free scholar, yeah.
Mr. Jones, you have anything else?
No, I think you worded it very well, Mr. Bishop. I appreciate that.
Yeah, just on the health thing, especially us, long time coming, even before you were. Mr. Anderson was working on with us, that building over there. We never
I
got
was
back
actually a
on.
part of that at Southwestern.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so I've actually been on.
It's like as long as I've been on the board, it's been something that's been on the come, but it's finally happened. So glad for
Trevor's
that.
done a lot since he's been on our board. I'm telling you, he really has. We're blessed to have you. We really
I
are.
think I appreciate that.
Future board meeting dates, Monday, July 21st and Monday, August 18th. Need motion to adjourn.
Oh, I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Kathy, all in favor? Motion carries 5-0, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. You did such a wonderful job.
I did.